We're talking about this, a scathing report into the misuse of city resources for personal security by Mayor de Blasio and his 2020 presidential campaign. It's making waves in the 2021 mayoral race.
With the election day less than a month away, today is the deadline to register to vote for mayor in New York City. So please do that if you're not registered. Joining us this morning, one of the men who wants to be mayor of New York City, Curtis Sliwa. Nice to have you on Good Day New York.
Oh, let me tell you, I had flashbacks there to 2001 Odyssey there, doing the hustle on the dance floor. How about we hit the dance floor and we do the hustle?
Exactly. Those were the days. All right, Curtis, let's talk about running for New York City mayor and perhaps our current New York City mayor. Yesterday, the DOI released this scathing report saying that he misused his security for personal reasons. He owes the city over $300,000 when he was running for president of the United States. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll be down at City Hall today at 10:30 demanding that he have a certified check for $300,000 that he owes the taxpayers. But you saw in his pretentious, omnipotent, defiant way that he said, I'm not paying a nickel, dime, or a penny. So you see these elected officials, it's do as I say, not as I do. They defunded the police, yet they use the police not only for security that the average people don't have, but also to be moving men and moving women, concierge service, valet parking. This is what we call in the streets udisgraziata. And my opponent, Eric Adams, gave him tactical air support. And he's always talking about, oh, yeah, I carry a gun, a bulletproof vest, I'll protect myself with my entourage. Guess what? Curtis Sliwa doesn't have police protection now that I could have been provided as the primary winner. And number two, when I'm mayor, I don't want any cops as part of my entourage because they should be in the streets. These elected officials defunded the police, but they want 24-hour security and they want the cops at their beck and call. That is a disgrace. There's no other way to describe it.
Curtis, you know what I thought was interesting, and perhaps you can comment on it. You know, the mayor had at one point when people were very concerned about riding the New York City subway, they were concerned about their safety. The mayor said, my kids take the subway. They'd laugh and basically in the face of somebody who thought it wasn't safe. And meanwhile, we now find that, like, basically, according to this DOI report, the son was using the police detail to go to CVS to pick up his prescriptions on a Sunday that was raining.
Well, don't you realize that, these sanctimonious hypocrites? And then again, who's defending the mayor for doing this? Eric Adams, his very dear buddy. So if you elect Eric Adams, it's more of de Blasio 2.0. Why don't you take a chance on Curtis Sliwa? I don't wear a bulletproof vest. I've never carried a gun. I was shot 5 times on the orders of John Gotti Sr. to John Gotti Jr. in the Gambino crime family. I could have had a carry permit. I turned it down. The moment I'm afraid to walk the streets and ride the subways of New York City, as I do each and every day, I should go to the 6th borough of the city of New York, Boca Raton, retire, or get a job hanging wallpaper.
6th borough. Okay, Curtis, you speaking about Eric Adams, the general election day is less than a month away. Things are getting kind of nasty in terms of the campaign. Eric Adams kind of going out in public calling you a racist. And now this is in your response to the FDNY members that were suspended for these racist messages. I just want to give you a chance to explain what you said about these FDNY members and maybe also talk about why he would choose to call you racist.
Well, because he's accused the FDNY and the NYPD of systemic racism. Imagine, in the aftermath of our commemoration of 9/11, you think these men and women ran into the towers saying, oh, no, I'm not going to rescue black or Hispanics when there are fires and they're in minority communities? Does the fire department determine, oh, we're not going to rescue black and Hispanics? Were there bad things being done by certain firefighters? Absolutely. Hold them to task. They may end up losing their jobs. But don't indict an entire department as being systemically racist. And then all of a sudden, because I say, hey, deal with the few bad apples here, you call me a racist? Curtis Sliwa, who's led a group of predominantly black and Hispanic guardian angels for 42 years. Have you seen my advertisements where I'm helping the poor, the impoverished, the homeless, the emotionally disturbed? These are people of color. Would a racist do that? Of course not. But this is what Eric Adams always does. Remember when Andrew Yang teamed up with Kathleen Garcia in ranked choice voting, which is what you're supposed to do on June 19th? Eric Adams called them both racist. This is always his fallback position. Eric Adams, you're out there in the Hamptons, Martha's Vineyard, you vacationed in Monaco with the privileged, the elite, the wealthy. I'm in the streets, I'm in the public housing projects every day and in the subways, and that is a population predominantly of color. So it doesn't fit. You can't tag me with the scarlet letter racist.
Curtis, speaking about our current mayor, we have this Insta poll that we have every single day. Yesterday, we asked the public, hey, would you vote for Mayor de Blasio if he was running for governor? Should he run for governor? The response that we had on that, 2% said yes, 98% said no. This is what people voted for. What is your take on this?
Well, when he ran for president, he only got 1% of people in the polls. He's in a drug-induced psychosis. I mean, let's be honest. This guy is smoking Maui Wowie and Hindu Kush on the back porch of Gracie Mansion every night.
He's denied that. He's denied that, Curtis.
He's denied many things. The fact is that this guy, when he went on the campaign trail for 4 months, we were actually a better city without him, to be honest with you. But in some of these states he went, he wouldn't have been identified in a police lineup, and yet he had 10 NYPD security officers with him. Come on already. I don't want any cops guarding me. They belong in the streets to all those sanctimonious, hypocritical politicians like Jumaane Williams, like Scott Stringer, the controller. They defunded the police, and yet they have 24-hour armed security. And Jumaane Williams, you know where he lives? In the garrison, the Army garrison at Fort Hamilton. Now, look at all that security, yet he doesn't want security for all of us. No. It's do as I say and as I do. That's how Curtis Sliwa will be mayor.
Should the mayor de Blasio resign, or you think he's just let him serve out the next, what is it, 12 weeks?
Yeah.
Nah, let him serve out 12 weeks. Let him go back to Boston, Cambridge. He'll probably become an adjunct professor at Harvard and destroy a whole new generation with his warped vision of poli-sci. But what we're here doing is trying to save our city. And I'm the person to do that because I've been doing it for 42 years. But I got a surprise for both of you now that we're going on a Christopher Columbus parade tour this weekend. Brooklyn on Saturday, the Bronx on Sunday, and actually the Grand Parade up Fifth Avenue on Monday. I'll be checking on all the statues in the city. Remember, previously that have been vandalized. There's been a movement to remove them. Obviously, everyone knows Columbus Circle in Manhattan. There's a Christopher Columbus statue in Brooklyn outside of the state Supreme Court in Astoria. And there's a bust of Christopher Columbus at Belmont Arthur Avenue, which the Albanians are guarding with their life. But there's no statue in the most Italian-American of all of our boroughs, Staten Island. I'll be at the Mount Laredo Italian Feast all weekend long, and I'm proposing that we purchase from Syracuse the statue that was taken down by their mayor, Ben Walsh, who I know because we helped elect him when I was the New York State Reform Party chairman. They put it in mothballs in a warehouse, and I think the perfect place would be right on New Dorp Lane and Highland Boulevard. We'll get private philanthropists to fund the purchase of the statue. Why wouldn't the most Italian-American of boroughs not have a statue that is a tribute to Christopher Columbus and the contributions of Italian-Americans?
Why didn't we think of that, Curtis Sliwa? I don't know. It's just sitting in a warehouse. They probably give it to us for free. Thank you so much, Republican candidate, mayoral candidate, Curtis Sliwa, for coming on. We'll be speaking with the Democrats.
And independent candidate. Don't forget, the independent party line also gave me their line.